All right, so there's a couple different ways we can handle the head of the axe here, this axe blade on top here. We could just make it right out of. Let's press 1 here. Let's make it right out of the base of the head that we have here on the shaft, and drag this down, and then we can start pulling out. Let's go find these faces here. This face and this face, and then see. Watch, we can go boom like that. I'll scale this. So press R. I'm going to scale it flat, so it's flat now. There's no indication as to whether or not this tapers here. I'm going to think. I'm going to let's see. Let's pull this out all the way, and then we can add this on. I'm going to assume that it tapers though. So let's go to here and to here. Go to face. I'm going to select these faces this way, and then I'm going to hold Control and deselect these. So I only have the faces on the end here. See? So holding Shift, so I can extrude. I'm going to click and drag this out. Look at that. Now we can come to the top view and then start making this taper, right? I'm going to make it taper later. I'll just make it all taper as one. This needs to go up. Okay, go to vertex, pull this up, and we have that there. Now go to face, go to vertex, pull this down. Go back to face. Go to vertex, pull this down. Go to face. Go back to face. You can extrude vertices, so be careful. That's what happened there. I don't think I have any faces selected. Let's go back and get these right here, and then pull this out all the way, and then you can go to vertex and pull this down to make a pointy point. And if you really want to get it pointed, what you do is you pull that out even farther, and it'll be nice and pointed. You might need to add in right here, because when we smooth this out, see, that collapses, this collapses. So you probably want to add in at least one here to kind of get this to curve more, so you can curve this up. And then you probably want to add in one over here to keep this sharp, one over here to keep this sharp, and one over here to keep this sharp, and one over here to keep this sharp. All right, so then we have that shape. Now that shape is pretty darn... Oh, go to vertex. I don't know why I didn't select vertices when I did that. Pretty darn thick, so we're just going to kind of come in and start tapering it. And I'm just scaling these. All I'm doing is selecting fewer and fewer vertices as I go along. And it's not very accurate, as you can see. I mean, it's kind of like a warped looking blade on this axe. I'm getting closer here a little bit so you can get that taper a little bit closer, more accurate. We can actually pull these here and here. Holding Shift, we can grab both of those. Pull them back to get a little bit more. You can see that gives it a lot more taper on there. And then when you smooth it out, it looks more like it would damage something if you hit something with it. And this is kind of... It's not going to be sharp enough, unfortunately. We'll do the edges this way here. And this way here. This will help make it look more square too. When we see, it squared it off. But it made these different changes in that head of this. There's, I don't know, rear head or whatever this thing is it made them sharper so that it will look better, look more like the image. And we can bring one in along here. Go to Object Mode, press 3. And you have that. So it's nice and sharp coming off of the main shaft there. And you can deal, I mean, you see these ridges in here. You can deal with those. There's ways of dealing with those, but that's a little bit more advanced. We're trying to get you just more or less familiar with the modeling process. We're not trying to get you to be a rock star at this point. Give you the basics, and then you can work on being a rock star on your own time. Okay, so we have that back piece. Let's go into the front part, which is going to be a similar process. I'm going to figure out, looks like we got the faces right here. Let's go to face. I'm going to just select over these faces and see if that's what I need. That's what I need, exactly. So let's press W. I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to click and drag out just slightly, and then I'm going to come to my side view here, or front view in this case. I'm going to holding Shift, I'm going to click and drag out to where it starts to curve. Click and drag out a little bit more, and a little bit more. All right, now we can take these vertices on the bottom here and start arranging them so that they line up with this curve. And then go back to face. And then we can start dragging this out here. Let's drag it out till just a little bit so we can get this. Let me flatten this. So we can get this point down here. So we'll go to vertex and we'll grab this and pull it down. Go to face, and we'll drag this all the way out. And then we can take this, push it up. We'll have to rotate it to get it to match with the angle. Holding Shift and Control, you can slide this. I'm going to slide it along here. Slide this down here, and I'm going to push it in slightly. I didn't add in the taper on the blade back here. We could do that. It's not impossible. All right, so go to Object Mode and press 3. And that looks pretty decent. It's not perfect because this point down here needs some TLC. Let's go ahead and grab the Insert Edge tool. Just add in an edge here so that that point will stay. See, it's much nicer now. And we have to have the point across the top as well, which it stays all right. It's not exactly terrible the way that is, but it could be better, as you can see. And then we'll come to the top view and we'll do the taper thing like we did on the other side. It's going to be a little bit easier on this side. I'm going to turn off X-ray because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see through in this case. And the reason is I think it's going to distract me. I'm not going to be able to tell which is which when I'm doing this if I have that turned on. I'm going to be thinking about like, okay, where's this point at? And is it on the right side? Is it on the wrong side? What am I doing? And then get this here. So it's a little bit off here. And there are faster ways of doing this, by the way. But they're just a little bit, I don't want to get you into a new tool and stuff in this process of making the midterm happen. If you want to know, you can always ask me in class. I can walk you through it. Make that pointy there. Z to undo. And then press 3. You got all that. That's pretty sharp. Let's go ahead and make this narrower here because it's definitely spikier than what I have. All right. I'm going to take this and this, and I'm going to move them back. And we get that extra sharp edge on the axe head so that it can cut through things. What is going on here? My tool got messed up is down there. Just double click your tool and then reset it. You should be able to get it back into position here. Oh, I know why, because I'm accidentally selecting that. That's why it's doing that. I accidentally selected the image. That's why I was like, why is this off? It shouldn't be off like that. There we go. And we got all this cool sharpness on there now. We can bring this in. And this down here too. So that it doesn't overlap. You don't want the overlapping to happen on there. Move this out so it's easier to kind of see. All right. Let's see how we got that to work there. Let's bring this up here. I'm just going to hold shift and control to slide these a little bit. Get them up there a little bit higher. We got the business end of the axe taken care of. So that could be a pretty effective tool. Take this right here. Kind of deal with some of this. And you can get into triangles and stuff, which I prefer not to use unless I have to, which only reason I would use them is if I'm going into video games. But a lot of people are like, yeah, just make it triangles. It'll be easy. I'm not about that noise. I'm about doing things the right way. And that'll help take care of some of that. And if you press 3 here, take care of some of those edges, those ridges that were in there. And then, there you go. Got ourselves a cool little axe ready to go. Make sure you save it. I'm just going to go to File, Increment, and Save. And we got the midterm finished. So good luck with all that, and I'll see you in class.